So ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to go over the 5 tips that helped me make my first million by the age of 21. So let's dive straight into it. Now, the first tip is to invest in yourself. I'm sure you've heard the quote that goes, the best investment that you can make is an investment in yourself. The more that you learn, the more that you earn. Now, when I first started out with entrepreneurship a couple of years ago, it wasn't cool to be an entrepreneur. You know, there was people like they weren't used to the whole entrepreneurship term and becoming an entrepreneur. Nowadays, everyone wants to become an entrepreneur. And because of that, there's so much content, resources, books, programs out there that you guys can utilize. Whereas back then, there wasn't nowhere near the amount of, like I said, information that you could utilize. So back then, it was very hard to be like, you know, what resource, what program or what mentor can I utilize to speeden up my success? You know, I had to go out there and dig on my own. But like I said, because entrepreneurship is so popular nowadays, there's so much resources that you guys can utilize. Now, what does it mean to invest in yourself? Investing in yourself means to build up your knowledge and your skills. And the way that you guys can do that is through books, through programs, through mentors. And what this is meant to do is to help you guys not only speeding up your success, but also, not do a lot of the mistakes that these guys already did. For example, I run an educational company called Ecom Sharks, where we help and teach students how to start and build a successful online store. And through the program, what we teach is to not only how to successfully start an online store, but it'll also help you guys in, not making the mistakes that I did when I first started out. So not only is it saving you hundreds of hours, but tens of thousands of dollars that you could have, mistakenly spent because you didn't have the knowledge and the skills that you would have through the program. So investing in yourself is super powerful. Nowadays, if I ever want to learn something, I go straight to the person that is where I want to be at or is doing what I want to do, and I'll learn directly from them, because it's not only going to save me hundreds of hours, which is super important because, time is your most valuable asset, but it's also going to save you a lot of money and headache and stress that could have easily been avoided by reading a book, taking a program, or, learning from a mentor. So investing in yourself is super powerful, and it can all start out with reading a couple of books, to then taking a program, and then to, investing into a mentor. The second tip is, if you have a $1 million dream, don't let someone with a $40,000 salary talk you out of it. Now, when I was first starting out with, my entrepreneurship journey, everyone around me was telling me how it wasn't going to work, that I shouldn't do it. And, these people around us, they play a very important role in our life because, your family, first of all, are the people that grew up with you. They play a very important role in your life, and so does your friends, because you spend so much time with them. And then telling you that, hey, you shouldn't do this because it might not work out, you'll lose this, or this doesn't work out, is, it gets to you, right? Because these people are the people that, spend so much time with you, they're around you. But when you actually take a step back, firstly, these people are not in the position that you want to be at, and second, their advice and opinions is sort of invalid, because it's like taking financial advice from someone that hasn't made a lot of money, right? It's like, how are you going to take advice from them? Or for example, you want to learn how to play tennis, right? How are you going to take advice from someone who's never played tennis before? It just doesn't make sense, right? So when you're starting out with your journey, you're starting to build a business or do something that, isn't in the traditional route, there are people that are going to have things to say, and you need to be very careful with who you take advice from. So when you're going on this journey, the only people that you want to take advice from are people that are in the position that you want to be at, because they're going to give you the advice that you need to hear in order to get yourself to the position that they're currently in. So for example, if you want to start an online business, right, you want to go to someone that has started an online business and has done it successfully. You want to learn how to play tennis. You want to go to a coach that knows how to play tennis and can teach you that. You don't want to be listening to the people around you, because like I said, these people, number one, haven't done what you want to do, and number two, are in no position to give you any advice or opinion. Tip number 3, focus work over busy work. Now, there's times where I've spent 8 to 10 hours working, but actually only 2 to 3 hours of that was actually productive and focused work. The rest of those hours, I was sort of procrastinating. I was just sort of wasting time. And you know, that's where people go wrong. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, I did a 16-hour day, but how many of those hours were you actually productive and were you actually focused? So now what I do is when I'm actually working, I am making sure that it's a focused work and that there is 0 distractions, so I can get the task done. I can put 100% in that task and get maximum return from it, rather than, you know, doing that task for 20 minutes and go on my phone for like 30 minutes and then jumping back and forth. So remember, focus work over busy work. Tip number 4, habits over goals. Now, there's a saying that goes, successful people and unsuccessful people have the exact same goals. It's the habits that separates the two, right? So obviously it's important to have goals and set goals, but instead of focusing on your goals, focus on your habits that you are going to do every single day in order to achieve those goals. So what do I need to do every single day in order for me to hit those targets, hit those goals, right? So for me, it was like, I need to wake up, I need to journal, I need to write down my tasks that I need to do today, and I need to do deep focused work in order for me to hit my goals. Because people are so focused on the goals that they forget that about what they need to do on a day-to-day basis in order to hit those goals. So start with some light habits, like for example, maybe taking a cold shower, maybe writing out what you need to do that day, or you know, maybe putting your phone away, right? So focus on the habits that you need to do every single day. Tip number 5 is sticking to one thing. Now, when I was first starting out, I fell into this habit of shiny object syndrome. Now, what shiny object syndrome is when, you know, you focus on one thing, but you see someone else doing better with this other business model, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to jump into that business model, and then you jump into another business model, all because you saw shiny object syndrome. And what you don't realize with shiny object syndrome is when you see someone else having success with that business model, you are seeing the success. You are not seeing the months and months or even years of hard work that they put in order to get themselves in that position. So stick to one thing and focus on that one thing until you are successful. Because at the end of the day, all the business models work, right? There are pros and cons to some business models, but at the end of the day, the one thing that matters is that all the business models work, and you need to stick to one of them and do everything and anything that you can to make that business model work. There's no point jumping from business model to business model, because what happens is you're going to spend 3 to 4 months of hard work on that business model, and you might get very, very close to actually succeeding with it, but then you see someone else doing super well with this other business model, and then you give that up, and then you pretty much restart in this other business model. So make sure that you stick to one thing, and like I said, do anything and everything that you can in order to make it. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the 5 tips that helped me make my first million by the age of 21. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, like all the YouTubers say. And I'm going to start posting once a week on YouTube. So let me know down the comment section below what videos that you guys want to see from me, and I'll make sure that I put them in the list for future videos. So that is it for the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.